A perfect nest. The kobolds reacted fiercely against the intrusion. They drained the room of light, trapped Marlene in their cruel little eyes, and turned her into such a savage essence of hatred that the pouch almost slipped from her fingers. That brought her back to the present, to the wide-open safe, the villa on the River Passer. In other words, to reality. The velvet pouch was filled with sapphires, pressed carbon, which through a trick of physics has learned to sparkle like a star. Herr Wegener's entire fortune, or near enough, clutched in her hand. But no witch and no kobolds. Because, Marlene told herself again, there were no such things as witches or kobolds, whereas these precious stones were not only real, they were the key to her new life. As long as she stopped wasting time and got out of here. Without giving the world of fairy tales another thought, and without even considering the consequences of what she had just set in motion, Marlene tied the pouch, hid it in the inside pocket of her padded jacket, locked the safe, put the painting back to hide it, straightened up, flicked back a strand of hair that was about to fall into her eyes, and left the bedroom. She walked along the corridor, down one flight of stairs, across the living room, through the hall with its excess of mirrors, and down the outside steps. The night greeted her with a light northerly wind. She did not stop. She got into the grey Fiat 130 and drove away. The villa disappearing in the rearview mirror. The passing street lamps. The gold wedding ring thrown out of the window without a trace of regret. The sleeping town. The scrapyard. A brief halt, and, thanks to an envelope stuffed with money, the Fiat 130 became a cream Mercedes W114, with new number plates, papers all in order, brand new tires, and a full tank. Then, without so much as a farewell thought, she was off again, heading west. Apart from the first snowflakes, everything was going according to plan, at least until the roadblock a few kilometers from Mals. A real pain in the neck. At the end of a series of bends she had just started along, Marlene glimpsed a van, its rotating beacon switched off, and a couple of carabinieri who looked as if they were freezing to death, or falling asleep, or maybe slyly waiting for someone or something. Herr Wegener had eyes and ears everywhere, even among officers of the law. So, should she try her luck or change route? If it had not been for the fear and the tension, Marlene might still have been able to protect her plan from unforeseen occurrences like this. But the tension, the fear, and the increasingly heavy snow made her brake, reverse, and turn onto a back road, setting off a new chain of events. The back road led her to another, even narrower, winding one, which went through a sleeping village and brought her to a crossroads. Left or right, heads or tails. Then, further on, with the snow piling up around her, layer upon layer. And when the car started to skid, the young woman with the beauty spot at the edge of her smile decided to carry on anyway, with one eye on the road, which kept climbing, and one on the map, on which, needless to say, this stretch wasn't marked. Damn them and their maps full of mistakes. That wasn't true. The map may not have been precise, none of them were, but mistaken? It was 1974, and by 1974 man had already left his prints in the dust of the moon, so a map could hardly be mistaken. Marlene should have just pulled over, switched on the light inside the car, taken a couple of deep breaths and checked. Things would have turned out differently. But Marlene did not stop. Her anxiety was now compounded by the incredulous realization that she was well and truly lost. Step on it, but gently, she told herself. Keep going. The road will take you somewhere sooner or later. A village, a shelter, a lay-by. She would even have been happy if the road had